Candidates are being linked. Names like Jack Clarke and Sammie Szmodics are standing out as Ipswich Town's search for a new attacker continues. We are going up. We are going up. And we are going up. We are going up. And we are going up. Good morning, afternoon or evening, depending on whenever you are watching this. My name is Harvey Bell, and Ipswich Town supporting content creator on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please do subscribe and leave a like on the video down below. Let's start off then with the biggest rumour of the week, that is Jack Clarke potentially leaving Sunderland to join Ipswich Town. Now, Jack Clarke, a player that Town know very well from playing against him last season, only 23 years old, someone that Kieran McKenna has plenty of time to develop if he does make the switch to Portman Road. A player that done really well in the Championship last season, despite Sunderland falling off in the second half of the campaign. He was the top goal scorer in the division up until Christmas, a player that's been one of the best in the Championship for the last few seasons now, and could make a really good acquisition to Ipswich Town's attacking ranks. Because he's done so well, though, Sunderland do value him somewhere around £18 million. Reports do vary. Some sites are saying that they value him at £25 million, but the general belief is that he is valued at £18 million by the Black Cats. Now, this is, of course, massive money. Ipswich Town have come up to the Premier League. We have got more money. We've been spending it. 15 million on Jacob Greaves, 15 million on Liam Delap, 20 million pound on Amari Hutchinson, 8 to 10 million pound on R.O. Murick. Town haven't been shy to pay big money for players this season. I don't know how much money is left in the bank. We don't know if there's a certain budget that they're limited to. But what we do know is Town have been ambitious in this window so far, and the fact that these links are even out there suggests that Town still have money left in the bank to splash out. I'd really like to see us sign Jack Clarke. I think he's been a really terrific player across the last few seasons, albeit not much Premier League experience at all, which is something that you'd imagine Town would be looking for. A lot of our players don't have any Premier League experience as it stands, but nevertheless somebody that has really impressed on the second tier, and you would expect that he himself is now wanting to make the jump to the Premier League. As with most transfer targets that Town have had this summer, they are reportedly not alone in wanting to get his signature. Southampton, West Ham also said to be interested, so I think it will take quite the battle if we are to get this one over the line, but one that I really hope we are able to get done. We'll just have to wait and see how this one plays out. Of course, all of these reports are just reports as it stands. They're just rumours. We don't know the validity of them. So let's just wait and see what happens on that front. Another rumour that's been going around is, of course, Samy Szmodics. This one at the start of the week, end of last week. Another player that has really impressed in the Championship. So much so that he actually finished last season as the Championship's top goal scorer, obviously just managing to get over Jack Clarke in the end. 27 goals to his name for Blackburn Rovers, a team that finished in the bottom half of the Championship table, which speaks volumes of his ability and his clinicalness in front of goal. Really highly rated player, one that's known very well to Town, played against him a lot over the last few seasons, whether it be for Colchester, Peterborough or Blackburn. He's a player that likes a goal against Town. He's played well against Town, and a player that I'm sure many of our fans would love to see in an Ipswich Town shirt one day. Now, Town are said to have offered somewhere around £6 million, with Blackburn rating him somewhere around £20 million. This is obviously a massive gap in valuation, although reports are suggesting that if a deal is to be done, it would be much closer to the £6 million mark than the £20 million mark. But who can blame Blackburn for trying to get the most out of a player that has performed so very well? With Sammie Szmodics and Jack Clarke, I certainly get the impression that it would be one or the other. I don't think that we'll be in for both, because obviously our attack is looking quite strong at the minute. Delap, Hurst, Burns, Hutchinson, Connor Chaplin, Nathan Broadhead could potentially be injured, but he's still at the club, and one of our most influential players on his day, so don't rule him out by any means. I can't see that we're going to be in the market for too many more players, which does suggest to me that it is going to be either Sammie Szmodics or Jack Clarke, or maybe somebody else, but I think it will only be one new attacker. Of course, if things had gone differently a couple of weeks ago, we probably wouldn't be sat here now talking about Town looking for a new left-sided winger. We was obviously heavily linked with Jaden Philogene from Hull City, who ended up going back to his old club, Aston Villa, a highly rated player there who Town were heavily linked with, but sadly couldn't get over the line. I think his agent messed Town around a lot and a number of other clubs as well, so maybe a bullet dodged there. But in any case, it does certainly look like Town are in the market for a left-sided attacker. One name that I've mentioned on this channel before, and a lot of fans say, is Jeremy Sarmiento. There doesn't seem to be anything in that at the minute. I would have thought that the club would have asked Brighton some questions in terms of their valuation, given how much he'd done for Ipswich in his loan spell, whilst not necessarily starting lots of games. Got some really important goals and was a massive part of Ipswich Town's success. But of course, there is still around a month left to go in the window, so Sarmiento and a number of other players could still be linked. That's it for players potentially coming in. A couple of potential outgoings include Elkan Baggott, potentially leaving on loan to join Derby County. That one has been reported a lot over the last week or so. I think this move makes a lot of sense. Elkan Baggott is highly rated at Ipswich Town. When he's made appearances for the first team on a few occasions, he has always impressed. He's somebody that was really impressive in the youth setup as well. He's been on loan to League Two. He's played a number of games in League One, so making that step to the Championship does seem like the natural next step for him. Derby County, a team that have just come up from League One, obviously going to be hungry to try and make a splash back in the Championship, so I do expect that they will do quite well, and Elkan Baggott joining them could only be a good thing for the player. He needs regular football, probably not going to get that at Town this season, given the fact that we are obviously now in the Premier League, so why not go to somewhere where you're going to get lots of game time, hopefully come back and then challenge for a first team spot. Corey Ndaba, another player that has been on Town's books for a number of years. Looks like he could be making a permanent exit to Scotland. He's been out on loan a couple of times, but now it's said that Aberdeen are leading the race to sign him on a permanent deal. Kilmarnock also in the race as well, so we'll wait and see what happens on that front. Kieran Slicker still being linked with a number of Scottish clubs. I think we're keeping hold of him until we have a bit more clarity over our goalkeeper situation. But of course, it would make a lot of sense for him to go out on loan as well. Only a young goalkeeper who, again, is probably not going to get a lot of first-team football this season. Not much more Ipswich Town news to update you on, other than to look forward to the Fortuna Dusseldorf game this weekend. Town's first game back at Portman Road since obviously achieving promotion against Huddersfield back in May. And that game does mark only 3 weeks until the start of the new Premier League season. It's getting very close now, getting very excited and looking forward to that opening encounter against Liverpool. Let me know down in the comments what you make of all of these transfer rumours, who else you would like to see come to Portman Road this summer. How are you feeling ahead of the Fortuna Dusseldorf game this weekend? But other than that, that is about it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.